Why, hello boys and girls. I just want to say with this video, I meant to make this video 6 years ago. In 2014, I went through a great deal of depression, anxiety, and I want to make this video, but I couldn't for many reasons. One, I was scared. I was scared of the consequences and backlash for speaking out. Two, I was at the point back then that I didn't want to live anymore. And three, I am such a huge perfectionist. I did try to film myself, but I didn't like how it turned out, and I was crying while making the video, so I kept scrapping it because I didn't want to cry in front of a camera. And I kept telling myself, I'll make this video later when I'm at least at the right state of mind. But year after year, I kept pushing it until finally I'm like, you know what, it's time to make this video. It's better late than never. And I feel that if I don't make this video, then nothing's going to change. In 2014, I was part of a staff member in Ultracon ran by Irving Santiago. I was in charge of the game room and the tournaments there. And we had numerous meetings, and I worked alongside with Irving, so I know how he is. Ultracon 2014, unfortunately, was the last event that I run tournaments again. Prior to that, I ran gaming tournaments for over a decade. I was one of the pioneers for running fighting game tournaments. But yeah, it sucked to think about it, but yeah, that was my final event to run tournaments, because afterwards, I started focusing more on my life, got my life together, and I turned my life around. The more I kept thinking about it, the more I feel like I should run tournaments again, because if I'm going to stop running tournaments, it's not going to be at Ultracon. This weekend, I saw the ads and stuff, and apparently Ultracon happened. That's right, at anime convention during a pandemic. I saw their cute little video that they put up. And the one thing that bothers me the most is we're in a pandemic, and there's an anime convention here in West Palm Beach, Florida. It's mind-boggling. It's actually the venue is at the South Florida Fairgrounds, and I actually live 10 minutes away from here. No, I didn't go. I didn't want to go because I don't want to put myself at risk. No matter how much precautions they have with COVID, I didn't want to go. In our cosplay community, there's a term that we use called con crud. Basically what it is, it's after an anime convention, you're going to get sick. And the reason being is because you're surrounded by a bunch of people. And there's going to be some people out there being sick. And there's a lot of interaction during anime conventions. And, some diseases might be spread to one person to another. Thus, called con crud. Now with this whole pandemic thing, it's even though you have precautions, I feel there's still a great chance that you're going to get sick. Which is why it's not a good idea to have these anime conventions during this time. That's why most anime conventions have canceled this year because of the pandemic. But I'm sure there's reasons why Irving wants to run Ultracon during the pandemic. And all the reasons are probably not that great. Number one, Irving is egotistical. He's the type of person that prides himself of, saying my con did this and I did, he always liked to compare himself with big cons, and if there's something that he can do that they can do or even better, he feels good about it. And one of it, I'm assuming, would be running a convention during a pandemic. There's a couple other conventions that have run their cons during the pandemic, such as Collective Con in Jacksonville, and I think there's one down south called Hero Hype Con. Both weren't really good turnouts from what I've heard. They did follow the little precautions, but still, it's it just seems just not worth it. Another thing is he does love publicity. Again, this feeds into his ego. No matter if it's good or bad publicity, any publicity to him is good publicity. But you really want that type of publicity for your convention to say that you're the one that ran an anime convention during the pandemic in Florida, in West Palm Beach? You know, I think Florida is like the top, one of the top like states with like COVID cases in the United States. And here are some of the backlashes on Twitter that I've read. Supposedly, this is from a convention called Ultracon. This is happening this weekend. And of course, it's in West Palm Beach. I don't know what this guy meant by that, but I mean, is he saying West Palm Beach is bad? Because you know what? Yeah, West Palm Beach is pretty terrible. I lived in Palm Beach County my whole life, so I feel you on that one. Let's see. It was Ultracon in Florida. So definitely one of the worst places in America to have a convention. This guest list was these bright individuals, and he put a list up. And when I look at this list, they didn't really update it on their website, because apparently, like, Irving loves to do this. I don't know why. Of the very last week of Ultracon happening, he always like posts up like these last minute like cosplay guests. One of it I saw was like Saiyan Princess. Really cool chick when I talked to her. I know she's going out with Irving's son. Also another thing too, like there's no like schedule to be found. Not even on social media, not on the website. I think the only thing they put like that has like a timestamp is Vic's special announcement on noon on Saturday, and I think they did put a timestamp on the Cosplay Contest, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's more disorganized on Irving's part. Like, people are like frustrated because they're trying to look at the website and there's barely any information. Boy, a con must be desperate when the best they have muster is we have Vic Mignogna. Ultracon South Florida is hosting a whole ass convention during the pandemic is so irresponsible and just a cash grab for them. And if you're going, please reconsider it. If you don't care, please protect yourselves. What con is even being held right now and desperate enough to hire this turd? And they show a picture of Vic. If you're at Ultracon, I'm laughing at you. Just a note that the convention Vic's at is called Ultracon in Miami, Florida. Apparently the convention's creator, Irving Santiago, didn't think that a pandemic was enough reason to not hold a convention. Another one on the list of cons to never go to. Yep, Ultracon here in West Palm Beach. Obviously not there, but then again, I had terrible luck at that con in previous years. Disappointed to see SW Florida Ultracon getting no public flack holding an anime convention this weekend. Florida is a COVID-19 hotspot, and for having Vic Mignogna as their guest of honor. He was a guest at Ultracon down here in Palm Beach, Florida this weekend. South Florida still has high infection rates, and I bumped into people running the con back in April, May-ish, and they said it was a hoax. So, shrug. So yeah, those aren't really good comments about your convention. However, in the social media of Ultracon, they did post something about the Palm Beaches Pledge. So it says, Ultracon of South Florida is committed to your health and safety. To show our unwavering support, we are proud to have signed the Palm Beaches Pledge, where we promise to follow the guidelines from health and government officials designed to prevent the spread of COVID-19. We invite you to learn more about the Palm Beaches Pledge by clicking here. And then there's a link. Very interesting. I didn't look at the link, but I'm pretty sure it's the standard stuff. They're going to test your temperature when you first walk into the venue. Pretty sure you have to wear a mask. I'm pretty sure there's 6 feet distance from everybody. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be hand sanitizers all over the place. But I saw this picture, and it's very intriguing. And it's a guy who's in the front of the venue testing the temperature of everyone. The one thing I noticed is he is not wearing a mask properly. Yeah, that's definitely a huge red flag right there. And there's also quite a few pictures up there that people are very close and not adhering to the 6 feet rule. They're very, very close. And Vic made a little joke about the COVID.
So glad you're here. We're not scared, are we? We're like, he doesn't have a mask on! Run for your life! The legendary Super Saiyan doesn't need it. The legendary Super Saiyan laughs at COVID. Broly is not afraid of it.
Oh my God.
And this is social distancing, right? You guys are at least 20 feet away from me.
And speaking of Vic, there's supposed to be like a really big announcement, and he had like this awesome explosion in the back. It's supposed to be like, you know, I guess fire or something. I don't know what's up with that picture, but it's supposed to be a big announcement. We don't know what it is. We don't know if he has like another work lined up. I don't know if like the lawsuits are finally dropped, but it's actually better than all that. He actually announced his own pop figure. I think it's supposed to be like has to do with like his past works and stuff all at once or something like that, and it wasn't clear whether or not it's an official like, you know, Funko Pop or something like that. But apparently, yeah, that's the big announcement. Also, Ultracon, there's a heartwarming thing. I think Vic like officiated a wedding. I don't know if he's actually officiated or it is like a, you know, a little play or something like that, and it was like Irving and his loved one getting married and stuff like that. You know, it's cute and all, you know, it just really goes to show like you could be in your 50s and still get married, so, you know, congrats to Irving and his loved one. But also another thing too, it's kind of a little bit sketch because it's like, you know, again, I've said this before, you're egotistical, and I don't know, you really set up Ultracon just so you can get married. I don't know, it just seems so weird. But hey, if this is your idea of like, you know, no one has done this before, but I just want to let you know, Irving, like, I've seen this before. Kamiha 2018, there's two couples that were married, and they're officiated by Chris Sabat.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my days and give you all that I am and accept all that you are, even when you're being a nagging earthworm.
So, yeah, you're not the first person that did something like this, but hey, congrats anyways. And also with Cosplay Contest, and I'm a cosplayer. I finally took cosplaying seriously years ago, but I have told people, like, you know, I never want to join a cosplay contest because there's always, I wouldn't say like all conventions happen, but it's like, you know, it seems like there's like a lot of like backstage politics going on from what I've seen. Not all conventions are like this, by the way, but I've noticed, I guess, a trend, if you will. But the one thing I did notice is, Irving, you're part of the judges, and I don't know if there's like an unwritten rule, but like it's not really a good idea for the person running the convention to be part of a judge because of conflicting reasons. But again, this is another one of the reasons why you have a big ego. You have to be at the center of the show. And I noticed like the person that won the event on Saturday is a furry. I have nothing against furries. One of my closest friends is a furry. He was a furry before a furry was a thing 19 years ago. I think it's cool to see it furry one, but the thing is, like, this reminds me of back in 2005, and I forgot which Central Florida con that happened. I think it's AFO if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. But I know it happened like in 2005. There's a guy cosplaying as Colonel Sanders, and he happened to win the whole show, the cosplay contest, as well as the cosplay skits. A lot of people were upset, and the reason why they're upset because in the rules they said like when you partake on the cosplay contest, you have to make at least 80% of the outfit, and it has to do with the anime, comics, or video game genre. Colonel Sanders, as far as I can tell, is not part of one of those three. Now, with that furry, is that furry part of like anime, comics, or video games? I don't know what your rules were, but and I know there's some people that make their own fursuits, but it's like, you know, did you? I wasn't there at the contest. Did you ask like, you know, if they make it or how they make it? Did you ask them like where the part of the universe they're from? I mean, is this one of those things, like, I know for a fact, Irving, you don't know much about cosplay, and you know, to see you as a judge, it's just like, you know, dude, really? But yeah, I'm not surprised that all this happened because I know you very well, Irving. You know, is this one of those things like, you know, honestly, back in 2014, like, I felt that, like, you had a really great potential of running anime conventions. You pride yourself as a great promoter because you like to go other anime conventions and pass out flyers, so you think you're a good promoter, so, you know, good for you to think that way. But man, like, I had a terrible experience working with you because, like, you know, everyone knows the type of person I am. I haven't really changed, you know, my work ethic's strong, and I'm the type of person, if there's a goal, you know, I work towards that goal until, you know, mission accomplished. And when we first talked, you know, you talk about, like, you know, you want to develop your own game room and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you know, I have a really good formula. You know, I was one of the pioneers of running tournaments and stuff like that. We had, like, you know, bi-weekly meetings. And it was a waste of gas because I had to drive to Coconut Creek once every other week for these meetings. And the thing is about these meetings, they seem pointless because, like, I'm always there, you know, I have, like, my plan, and I tell everyone what I'm going to do, and I try to talk to you. I try to get the equipment because you say you're going to, you know, like, you'll buy the equipment because you want to develop your own game room. And the thing is, like, every time I tell you, you gotta buy this, you gotta buy that, you kept postponing it, or you just give me, like, the runaround. It was, like, really frustrating. And it seems like, no offense to the staff members there at the time, like, I felt like I was the one who focused on their stuff while you kept asking, like, you know, everyone what they're doing. They're kind of like, you know, but for me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run these games at this day, then that day, we're gonna have a big screen, we have all this and that, you know, it's gonna be great. Everyone, like, digs it and stuff like that. But you, Irving, like, rather than talk about, like, the convention, you worry so much about Mike Broder, the guy who's behind Florida SuperCon. And for those that didn't know, I was also a staff member at Florida SuperCon 2013 as well as Anime Florida 2014. I was there on both days running their fighting game tournaments. I worked alongside Broder, and it was actually a pleasure working with him. He's actually a really professional guy, really nice to talk to. I like some of the staff members there. I like Sandy, Ian, Wenji, Ben. Really good people, you know, when they talk to me. The only reason why we had a fallout is because the person running the game room sucks. And there's two different ones from SuperCon. She got fired. And then there's, like, one replacing him at Anime Florida. They called me at the last minute because the person running SuperCon 2013, the game room, you know, she didn't do her job, so they fired her, and then they're doing a lot of last minute stuff. But both of them suck because both of them threw me under the bus, and you know, it is what it is. But as far as working alongside Mike Broder, it was great. And if he ever called me and say, like, hey, you know, if you ever want to run fighting game tournaments, if I'm not doing anything that day, then hell yeah, I'll freaking take up on it. So, but yeah, like, you know, every meeting, almost seems like every meeting, you can't help but to talk about Mike Broder. You're, like, so paranoid of what Mike Broder's doing, but, you know, when I was working alongside with him, like, he never talked about you, or he never talked about Ultracon. He always focused on his work. And his philosophy is very similar to mine's. When it comes to doing work or having a game plan, I always focus on myself. I don't worry about what this person's doing or that group's doing. I focus on my stuff and my stuff only. That's why willvolution was great. Because I didn't care what anyone thinks, because no one thinks like me. So it's just like, that's why I was innovative. I've done a lot of things that no one has done before. And it was awesome, you know. But for you, you always focus on Florida SuperCon. You never really focus on Ultracon. The only times that you got serious with Ultracon was, like, literally 2 weeks before the event about to happen in July 2014. And you're like in crunch time mode, like, oh my god, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And I was so frustrated. And I remember one time you called me up and you yell at me because you're like, where's the list I'm supposed to buy? And I'm like, I did give it to you numerous times, but you never did. I know, like, you're really bad at technology, but I did everything I can to help you. I even, like, screenshot, like, what you need to buy and everything, and you didn't follow up. And you put me in a bad position. Like, I had to bring my own equipment. Not only that, I needed more stuff. You didn't give me the money. I give you other options like to remedy this. Like if you don't have the time to buy all this stuff, you should have given me the money. I'm pretty good at spending money and finding like the best deals. Should have given me the money and let me buy it, and then just give it to you because this is your money, this is your equipment. But you didn't for some reason. I don't know if you didn't trust me or what, but it's like I did my part to try to make this happen. But at the last 2 weeks, I was frustrated, and I was like, all right, I gotta bring my equipment. And not only that, I spend an additional $300 more of my money for extra equipment. It really put me in a bad spot, and I didn't have much money at the time. And not only that, you didn't pay me for my services at Ultracon 2014. This is something that I wanted to say, but like I'm just so scared of the backlash. But the thing is, like, if I don't say anything, nothing's changed. So, I mean, it's in the past. I'm not here to ask money from you, Irving. I'm not here for an apology or whatever. I just need to get this off my chest. And hopefully you would watch this and go like, hey, I made some mistakes in the past. Let me try to fix it now. Even though you've been running conventions quite a while now, and nothing really changed from 2014 and now. So maybe this video will help you, but I don't know. We'll see. But the most important thing is I'm happy that I made this video, and that's that. So we'll see what happens. I hope you change, Irving. If not, then the results will be very obvious. So, but I have one serious question for you, Irving. And I was wondering if your son, your mother, or whoever, your loved ones got the COVID, got very sick, or even worse, passed away because of COVID, would you still run Ultracon during the pandemic? With that said, that's it with the video. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of dislikes from all the Vic fanboys and a lot of nasty comments, but hey, it is what it is. But the old saying goes, closed mouths don't get fed. So, alright, y'all, stay safe and have a good day. Peace.